One thing that I've always had an issue with was time management. It's been a struggle between me and my wife. It's been a struggle with me and I'm going to say my jobs, but more because of my own pressure that I put on my being there on time and things like that. Admittedly, I'm often late. It's not all the time extremely late, but I'm usually within like the 10 minutes late mark, which is way improved from what I used to be, which was closer to, a half hour, 20 minutes, whatever. And, it's something that a lot of people with ADHD struggle with. And like I have a combination. I have a mix of ADHD, ADD, and OCD. And if you look it up, it's a very common combination, but it's rare to have. It's not rare. It's it comes in different waves, and it hits people differently for each each combination that you find. My ability to hyper focus on something is pretty much driven by my OCD. And what I mean by that is, like, if I don't get my routine in, then I feel incomplete. I feel off to the point where it's even on, like, more of, like, a physical level. Even going to the bathroom at specific times. Like, if I don't do that the right time or the right way when I feel that it's needed, it just hits wrong. Like, my whole day is messed up. My stomach's messed up. And I have a lot of issues with that. So stuff like that, even brushing my teeth, or, I'll realize that I was leaving in a rush and I forgot to brush my teeth. Then all of a sudden my nose will start feeling more congested, and, I'll start noticing my breath more. And it's, just like more of a mental thing. But it contributes a lot to my being late because, I have this idea of how long something's supposed to take me, or how long it's, I don't allow myself 45 minutes to go somewhere that should only take me a half hour. And that's something I really do need to fix and change. I've been working on that for a while. My wife has been helping me. She's very routine. She's very in the mindset, like her family was. Like, her father was always very, if you're on time, you're late kind of personality. And not that my parents weren't. My parents were definitely, big on being on time and stuff like that. But they had kind of the mentality of like, meh, you know what? If you're late, it's not the end of the world, And, I put a lot of pressure on myself sometimes to be late, to the point where I'd be doing 90 miles an hour, trying to get to work and whatever. And, with all safety precautions pushed aside and all things considered, it was not at all the best choice. So I just wanted to take this time in this episode to share my experience with this, because I feel like it's something I'm often ridiculed for and kind of feel attacked about, and I shouldn't. I should be expected, if I agree to be somewhere at a specific time, I should be there, and I fully agree. I do agree. I do think that there needs to be some level of understanding where stuff happens. I fall into a routine, or I get very distracted by something that I feel in that moment requires my attention more than leaving. And, it's not a healthy mindset to be in. It's something that really messes with, my lifestyle and my, the things that I want to accomplish. Time management in general has always been a very difficult thing for me. Even editing my videos or my podcasts or things like that. And I've had to put a lot of systems in place just to get to where I am in life with my time management. And I have a long ways to go. But, just the fact of me, like, taking the time to work on it and to give it the attention that it deserves in respect to other people and in respect to myself, I've taken some pretty big steps to fix that. One of the things is to stop letting myself sleep so late, which is a little bit different with working overnights and having 3 kids, because I literally sleep in nap intervals. And, when I can, I get as much sleep as I can. But the point is that, I really don't have the time to hit the snooze. When my alarm goes off, I need to get up because I have to go pick up my kid. I have to go drop somebody off. I have to wake up because it's not fair to have them, in their cribs or whatever beyond a certain amount of time. It's good for them to have their own playtime and such like that. But I mean, I've seen it where people just will put their kids in their room or their kids in their bed and just ignore them for hours and hours. And I'm not judging anybody in particular. I'm just saying that's not really my that's not really my method of parenting. I believe, yes, they need their own time. Yes, sometimes they do need to be ignored, but there is a cutoff time, and you have to look at when, that's the appropriate time for you and your family and your situation to watch out for their mental health, because that can start to be a problem. Anyway, so, I am facing a lot of situations that's really kicking my butt in gear and saying, you need to straighten this up. You need to get this under control. And I notice that certain things do take priority when it comes to me being on time. It is possible for me to be on time. Work has always fallen to the wayside. Where, going to any of my jobs or whatever, if I'm on time, or if I agree to just meeting with a client at a specific time, I will be there, and I will be there early, and I will be there ready to go. But any of the jobs that I've been to, 5 minutes isn't a big deal. 10 minutes isn't a big deal. In some cases, 15, 20 minutes isn't a big deal. And it's really not a good, mindset to be doing that. But I also take it like it shows me how valuable that thing is to me. My kids are very important to me. Maintaining my dream job and helping people and meeting with my clients and doing the things that I love to do, that's very important to me. Jobs, I've always seen jobs as like, oh, this is what my stepping stone until I can get to my dream level work where I want to be, or doing what I want to do. Homework, I was always a procrastinator for homework and for taking tests. I never ever studied. I did not get along well with school. But for those things that you need a job to help your money grow, to help you get in a better financial position, to help support your family. You need a job. And, I take that seriously, but not as seriously as I should. Especially if a job is lenient, I might find myself taking more advantage than I should be. And it's something that I definitely need to work on out of respect for what that purpose is for me going there in the first place. My purpose is for me to support my family and to bring us to that next level of, getting our equipment for the podcast and the shows, getting, the building for an office space, so that I can see clients and do the trainings and personal trainings and health coaching and stuff, somewhere where I can meet face to face with people as well as online and really expand my business reach. And I need to respect that. I need to settle that into my mind, because then it will become an important thing for me. Then it will become a driving factor for me to actually be on time, because I have that respect level for what it's doing for me. Even if it was a job I hated, I need to reconnect myself with that purpose. And I think, that's an important part of why, of how I am the way I am. I tell a lot of people that I had a lot of issues in school. I still have a lot of problems paying attention And I have problems with people telling like long-winded stories, and there's a lot that makes me a different type of personality. But I've learned to use those situations and those, I call them kind of superpowers. I've learned to use my power as a help instead of a hindrance. And it's that thought process that helps me do that. I know a lot of people who can't get control of themselves, a lot of people who can't beat their obsessions. And even if it looks like they're beaten, for me, I still struggle with them every single day, multiple times a day. Sometimes it's like mind consuming, but it's something, it's a journey. It's a progress. It's a journey. It's progress. And there's a purpose to me doing it. And the purpose is that I can help others with this, with these afflictions, with these situations, these powers. I can help you to really control your urges, to find that mentality, to break you out of that mode of, I need medicine to take care of my mind. I need medicine to stop my obsessions. I need medicine to calm me down. Listen, some people do need medicine, and I fully understand that, and I do respect that. But if this message is speaking to you, then you're a person that knows that you can do it without medicine. You just might not know how. And that's something that I take very seriously, because I believe that the people who need it definitely need it. But the people who don't should definitely use their abilities, their inborn abilities to beat that, to not have to rely on anything to quote unquote correct your mind. It's about your mentality. It's about how you see what's going on in your head. It's about how you experience it and how you interpret it. Is it all negative? Is it all positive? Is it half and half? Is it somewhere in between? It's very important. And behind all of that is your drive to, or behind your drive to fix these situations is not just acceptance and learning to live with it and work with it and things like that, but it's also to, really help you focus on what you need to focus on and what you're meant to focus on. A lot of higher intelligence people are often diagnosed with obsessions and with ADHD, ADD, things like that. And most of it comes from just them being bored, unfortunately. When I was in school, like I needed hands-on learning. I needed a lot of, physical interaction, mental interaction. I needed to experience things. I needed all of my senses to be on fire in order for me to commit something to my mind. And I didn't care about school. I literally sat down at SAT tests and I, scribbled designs as my answers on the Scantron sheets. And that I didn't really care. I cared more about going and interacting with my friends or going to gym class, for example, or something like that, rather than just sitting at a 2 or 3 hour test and getting the right answers, And it's a problem that I've always had with institutionalized school systems, like the way that they are for the most part now. I think we need different school systems. I think we need more interactive school systems to really help people where they shine, But I never really cared about studying. I never really cared about putting that effort in until I got to a class that was designed for students who kind of live outside the box. And it was a class called MST, Math, Science, and Technology. It was a 3-hour class that we had every day. And what they did was 3 teachers, one from each specialty, came together and designed a curriculum for a semester. And what they would do is they would teach us the lessons, like things like physics and, like out there concepts, calculus and things like that I wouldn't normally give a damn about, even just hearing the word, And they would put the lessons into practice by having us hands-on work on these projects and explain to us what's happening and really allow us to see what, you know, what we can do with that information. And that made it hit home a lot differently than just, you know, settling for the information that we were being fed and having to regurgitate it on paper. That was never a good learning practice to begin with. And, you know, this all relates to each other because it's like I said, it matters your motivation that's behind it. If you're telling me that I just need to know this information for a test, I am not going to care. I'm not going to give a damn about this information. And if you show me like, oh wow, like rockets take off like this, and this is how you can do it, and and I can put that into, obviously it's not the same, but it's just the best example that I have right now. You can put that information to what you're being, to your experience, and live it out. And so it's about the mentality behind something. I've been able to grow that since that experience. I've been able to grow that mentality because that experience happened at my school. And then, I started being able to relate things a lot better and put things together instead of people just telling me like, oh, this will suit you well if you have to balance a checkbook. The checkbook is just plus, minus, whatever. If I want to balance it out, I average out things, and that's what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. But, when you put it to life lessons and put it to things that are really amaze you to learn, it makes it so much better and so much different. And that's where I come in with my my time and being late and things like that, is because it's teaching me something. It's teaching me how to prioritize more than anything else. Is this something I really care about? If not, should I really be giving this thing my attention? Or is there something I could be giving my attention that is more appropriate for my time? And that, I think, is what the key to this whole episode is. I know it's been kind of scattered, but life has to be relative, right? If you're living in a life and you don't experience things that are going on around you, you're not going to care about what's happening. And that means you're going to shut down with learning. You're going to shut down with everything in between. And if you find that little spark of interest that gets you going and gets your interest risen and gets you involved, it's kind of a different way to live, because you're living actively and you're not just letting life happen to you. You're effectively taking a role in your life. And it's a hard concept to kind of explain, in the mindset that I'm at right now. But, I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that this, has struck a chord and kind of, just brought my personal experience to help you. But if you need any more information, if you want to know any more about, things that I can tell you to help you with time management or to help you find these reasons, check out the link in my show notes, and I'll get in touch with you guys and we'll figure it out. Until then, you guys have a good one.